What's under the dust cover here? Somebody made this homemade dust cover. I love it. But this is a maybe the coolest Casio keyboard from the 80s. I'm not sure. But let's see what it is. It's the Casio HT 6000, complete with Bedienungsanleitung. And I'm powering it through batteries today, but you can see it's got full MIDI capability with MIDI out and through. And this diagram that I'm pulling out from this shows it only has 12 channels, and I think it only has 8-note MIDI polyphony. So while the MIDI can do a lot, and it's actually a pretty good implementation, especially for Casio, it's still not complete. But this Anleitung, this manual, does show that this is quite a capable synth, and I haven't really played with it before today, but I was reading this manual because I had house guests and I just didn't have time to really get into it. But I can see that there are a lot of different waveforms that this thing does, and it is a PCM synth with analog controls, so it's a bit of a hybrid, which is great. Best of both worlds, maybe? Let's hear how it sounds. Before we do that, let's look at this in comparison with the HT 3000, which is the lower model of the HT, and there's lower models than that, but the HT 6000 was the top of the line of the HT range, and it did a lot that even the CZ synths that I think are largely regarded as good can do. So this one has 2 control knobs, and they feel very much like they're kind of ripping off the alpha wheel. And if you remember from the HT 3000, when we're doing the synthesis, we need to kind of select through the parameters using the wheel, and then use the other wheel to set the actual values of said parameter. And we're talking Casio here, so we're always going to have these great arranger features, and some of these beats actually sound cool. Like they're not like overly complexified and goofy, and you can build your own chords from what I can see. I haven't really explored that yet. The sounds coming out of this synth are kind of Casio by nature, but you do have like a lower bank and an upper bank, and unfortunately you cannot layer them, but you can certainly generate splits and have some fun with them. And there's a lot of room for like internal saved patches as well as presets. So each one of the buttons that you see there actually can account for a total of 4 sounds by way of switching through the internal and the preset and the select button I'm pressing right there. And these sounds are okay. They're like not the best. This is 80s Casio, and I'm sure I'll compare it to CZ sounds, which have a totally different approach to synthesis. And we can just see like what's better, what's worse. I'm sure I'll compare this to the HT, but really looking in at all of the parameters you can get to through the synthesizer portion of this keyboard is pretty cool. So you can, of course, again, here, look at the splits, and there are 3 split options. So you basically can have your bass side take up more than half the keyboard if you're so inclined. I'd love more transpose. These Casios don't transpose a full octave, so I'd love to drop this whole thing an octave, especially for the bass sounds, because when you do, from what I can see, you can get some better tones out, but they'll just feel a little bit too high pitched for what I'd want to do with the synth. So when we shut that off, we also now can go into the actual synthesizer. So you can synthesize the upper or the lower. You'll select the sound that you want to work from, and you'll select the the parameter that you want to select for with the left knob here, like I'm doing. And I'm going to start all the way at the beginning so that we can look at the waves. And as I was showing from the manual, there's a lot of waves here. So this for a Casio is pretty close to a professional keyboard. And I think, somebody at the time of the release back in like 88 or 89 said, if Casio packaged this like a professional keyboard, it probably would have sold a lot better because it has a ton of capability. You have to think about the fact that this came out at the same time as really amazing synths like the D50 from Rowland. The M1 was just getting out. So even still, this Casio was kind of behind the times. Really feels like it's kind of playing in the Yamaha DX range, which was aging out by the time this keyboard came out. But with a full analog filter, ASDR for noise, and a whole bunch of wave shapes, there's really a lot one could do with this synth. And I paid 3 times more for it than I did for my HT 3000, and honestly, it feels like it's definitely more than twice as powerful. I really enjoy it. In some ways it's simplistic, in some ways it's like, only giving you 80s kind of like PCM with analog sound. So it's not like a earth-shaking thing or something that I'm really gonna like say, hey, you need to have one of these in your collection or in your studio. But it is a fun instrument, and I'm going to probably spend a bunch more time with this to get to know it, get to love it, and compare it to other Casios, compare it to other similar boards from the era, and we can explore more with this one. So I hope you like this video. This is a quick, I just found it video. We'll dig in deeper for sure. So like and subscribe if that's what you're into, and if you're not, hate and unsubscribe, I guess. All right, have fun.